The modern world has made you chronically stressed. In the 21st century, you're confined to cubicles and classrooms. If you really think about it, a large chunk of your existence is just within buildings. You work 8 hours a day within these confinements, and this is not just manual labor which requires moving around. This is rather knowledge work that requires you to sit and focus on a task. Once you're done with work, then you get into your car, drive, obey the laws of traffic, think of directions, pay for parking, etc. The point is that you're constantly making focused effort throughout the day, and this makes you neurologically fatigued. Think of your nervous system as your body's control center for handling all sorts of situations. Now within this system, you have got two major players, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is like your body's gas pedal. When something stressful or exciting happens, it kicks into high gear. This is what is happening when you're focused and working throughout the day. You are constantly pushing the gas pedal. On the flip side, you have got the parasympathetic nervous system, which is like your body's brakes. Its job is to calm things down and bring you back to a more relaxed state after the stressor is over. This is what actually rejuvenates your focus. Here's the fun part. Nature triggers this parasympathetic nervous system by inducing a soft fascination with the environment around us. When taking a walk outside in the park, you do not need to worry about absolutely anything. Not the parking, not checking your email, not worrying about traffic rules. Plants and animals going about require nothing from us, so we can involuntarily be fascinated. This gives our bodies the opportunity it needs to restore our mental capabilities. This is the very first benefit of taking a walk. If you're a knowledge worker, you are literally paid for the amount of focused work you can do, and it is absolutely vital that you replenish your focus so that you can perform day in and day out. Here's what I do. After every 60 or 90 minutes of deep focused work, I go outside for a walk in my local park. Observe the trees, observe the grass, observe the squirrels. This replenishes my focus for my next bout of cognitive work. Without having these walks, my overall productivity decreases significantly. Here's a fun fact. Over 70% of individuals have experienced a traumatic event in their lives. Well, not quite fun. When I first learned about this statistic, I was blown away. So what is to be done about this trauma? And what about all the daily micro-trauma that you face? Are we all just supposed to run to a psychologist each time shit goes wrong? As you walk, your eyes make constant lateral movements to continuously update your brain on where you are in space. The tree up ahead moves in relation to you, gets bigger as you walk towards it, letting you know that you're getting closer. That's optic flow in action. Now here's the really cool thing about optic flow. As your eyes move to engage with optic flow, the parts of your brain that process your response to threats become quiet. One of the most popular treatments for PTSD and anxiety disorders is based on this science of walking. In 1987, a psychologist named Dr. Francine Shapiro went for a walk outside. She was preoccupied with disturbing thoughts, and she noticed that as her eyes established this optic flow, she felt less troubled by her thoughts. The reason why walking helps dealing with trauma is as follows. When you walk, you pretty much engage in optic flow, which turns off the threat detection part of your brain. Now when you start recalling traumatic or stressful events while walking, then you are coupling a low stress state with the disturbing memory. And this can desensitize that memory and help you reduce its psychological impact on you. Here's what internet's most popular neuroscientist, Andrew Huberman, has to say about this.
The second thing I do after I wake up is to get into forward ambulation, which is just nerd speak for taking a walk. For humans and for animals, there's a phenomenon whereby when we generate our own forward motion, forward ambulation, visual images pass by us on our eyes, so-called optic flow. Getting into a mode of forward ambulation and especially experiencing visual flow has a powerful effect on the nervous system. The effect it has is essentially to quiet or reduce the amount of neural activity in this brain structure called the amygdala. Amygdala means almond, and many of you have probably heard about the amygdala for its role in anxiety and fear and threat detection. And indeed, the amygdala is part of the network in the brain that generates feelings of fear and threat and anxiety. It does a bunch of other things too, but that's one of its primary functions. There are now at least half a dozen quality papers published in quality peer-reviewed journals that show that forward ambulation, walking or biking or running, and generating optic flow in particular, has this incredible property of lowering activity in the amygdala and thereby reducing levels of anxiety.
Well, that's not it. Here is another amazing benefit of walking. The cathedral effect refers to the psychological impact that different ceiling heights can have on human thinking and emotions. Research suggests that heights of ceilings can influence how people think, how they feel, and behave in a given environment. Low ceilings promote a more focused and detail-oriented mindset, as individuals tend to pay closer attention to their immediate surroundings rather than thinking expansively. This is pretty much your typical office or classroom environment. Whereas high ceilings can enhance creativity and abstract thinking, individuals feel more mentally liberated and inclined to think broadly and imaginatively. And this is why taking walks really helps you in your creative ventures. It allows you to be in a high ceiling environment, think abstractly, and form connections between seemingly unrelated things. What I've realized is when I take walks and just think about the work I'm doing abstractly and then come back to my room or office to perform deep focus work and think about the specific details, I tend to perform that task much more efficiently and creatively. After all, this is the reason why Darwin, Steve Jobs, Beethoven, and many others loved taking long walks. The truth is that there are a bunch of zero-cost protocols such as walking that have almost miraculous benefits to them. There's one such protocol that can boost your learning ability in just 20 minutes. So make sure that you check out this video to find out more about it.